Like they assassinated the Olympic gold medalist in Russia, in wrestling rather, in Iran, because he was protesting against the government. Like they'll take national heroes and kill them openly. Like it's not a good place to live.
Right.
You know, and I'm not saying we should bomb them, but like being in support of Iran, the Iranian people, yeah, for sure. But that government is nuts, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, trans people for Hamas. like, you know what I mean? Like there's people that are just, they're not seeing what you're talking, they're not seeing the big picture.
Yeah, there's so many contradictions out there, man. It's really hard to follow it all.
It's because it's a cult.
And and I think a huge amount of the Iranian population supports Israel too. And it's like you would never fucking know that unless you like talk to them or listen to some of these interviews of these people.
A ton of Persian Jews that moved to Los Angeles. You know, that was like at the fall, I guess it was in the 70s when, so this is the story for people that don't know about Iran. So there was a gentleman who was democratically elected. I forget his name, what is his name? I'm going to fuck it up. So he decided that he was going to nationalize oil in Iran. And they got him out like that. They installed the Shah and turned it into an Islamic dictatorship. But they had access to the oil. So the CIA and the British government and everybody conspired to get rid of this democratically elected guy. Because Iran at the time was like... women were wearing shorts or skirts rather, walking down the street. It looked cool. Here it is. Mohammed Mossadegh. Okay, so let's zoom in on the story here. It says Iranian Prime Minister Mohammed Mossadegh was removed from power in a coup organized and financed by British and U.S. governments. The Shah quickly returned to take power and signed off over 40% of Iran's oil fields to U.S. companies. It's crazy, man. It's like it's so transparent. They didn't even wait a couple of years. They didn't even, well, the Shah's in power now. We'll see how things go. They immediately came in and signed everything off. 1953, the CIA and British intelligence orchestrated a coup d'etat that toppled the democratically elected government of Iran. The government of Mohammed Mossadegh, the aftershocks of the coup are still being felt. 51 Prime Minister Mossadegh roused Britain's ire when he nationalized the oil industry. So the oil, they weren't making money off the oil. They were making money, but not as much money as the British were. Yeah. It had been exclusively controlled by the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. The company later became known as the British Petroleum.
This
BP.
Time it's different, though. We
BP,
don't want the
which
oil
is
this time.
They're the same people that dumped all the oil in the Gulf.
Yeah, exactly.
That's BP. After considering military action, Britain opted for a coup d'etat. President Harry Truman rejected the idea, but when Dwight Eisenhower took over the White House, he ordered the CIA to embark on one of its first covert operations against a foreign government. And Iran's been fucked ever since. I mean, we've been doing stuff like that. Not you and I, not me and Danny Jones. We're innocent. But the United States government, especially the intelligence agencies in the days, before they assassinated Kennedy, they were doing all kinds of wild shit.
Oh yeah.
And
we're done now. We don't do that anymore. They don't do that shit anymore.
They definitely don't.
No.
They
would never. They don't give a shit about the oil over there.
No, this government's America first now. We're legit.
America first.
It's a crazy history,
bro.
and
when
you don't know the history, you go like, "Why are we mad at the Iranians?" Well, why are they mad at us? Okay, like what did we do to them? Like why? How did these Islamic jihadists come to power? Like where did it all start? Well, go back to the Mujahideen. We literally changed their definition of jihad. Like we wanted them to become suicide bombers. We wanted them to do things and martyr themselves. So it was the original definition of jihad. Look this up, but I'm pretty sure it was a war against your own vices.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. The idea was you were trying to be a good Muslim, a pure Muslim. You were trying to avoid impure thoughts, no alcohol, all these different things. And they twisted that around with jihadists and through the CIA and Osama bin Laden and the Mujahideen to fight off the Soviet Union when the Soviet Union occupied Afghanistan. Like Osama bin Laden was our guy.
Right.
He was working for us.
Yeah.
And then he's like, these fucking people suck.
Yeah, there was this story how his pancreas
A struggle
failed.
against the enemies of Islam, a spiritual struggle within oneself against sin. Greatest jihad. Yeah.
It sounds great.
Isn't that interesting? A spiritual struggle within oneself against sin.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
just reading it sounds like
so. It seems like it's more than one definition.
There's probably so many bastardized
The other one is
versions.
Declared a jihad against the scroll back down again. Struggle or fight against the enemies of Islam. So it's two things, but they made it. You know,
yeah,
they did a lot of mind fucking to those people, and they put them on a war that they couldn't win again to try to do the same thing that they were doing with the rocket program, with everything else.
Yeah.
They were trying to outspend the Soviets. They were trying to bankrupt them.
Yeah, that part of the world is just like how much of it has to do with the fact that we've been occupying that area, that part of the world for so long, and like going out there, killing all the bad guys, and then the kids seeing their families being slaughtered, and then like, okay, we're going to eliminate terrorism, let's take out these bad guys. But then the kids grow up and you realize it's just the Hydra. You cut the head off and 3 grow back.
Well, if you want to be even more cynical, we pay them and we arm them.
Yes.
And we left behind billions of dollars of shit in Afghanistan that they use for parades now. They drive down the street with our tanks. Yeah. They have our Black Hawks flying overhead. That's all the shit we left. Billions of dollars. Like, you couldn't have got that out? Well, do you think they leave it there so that these people are always formidable and they always leave open the door to go back in? Yeah. I think so. I don't think that's the primary reason why they did it. But I've got to assume that that would be on the table if it's been on the table in the past. Arming people in the past has always been a thing that we do. I mean, there's a Bill Hicks joke about Iraq. You know, it's like, they have the most deadly weapons. How do you know? Well, we looked at the receipts. I butchered the joke, but But you know, we've always been doing that. Of course, we've done that forever.
Yeah. What's my favorite Bill Hicks joke? At least I'm not like a historian on Bill Hicks, but the one where he's talking about the sock puppets. He's like, I like this guy on the right. He seems like he fits my ideas. He's like, well, I think fancy the guy on the left. He's like, what the fuck? The same guy's holding both the puppets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's perfect. Perfectly illustrates the way it is. You know?
Yeah. And again, this was before we really knew things. This was Bill Hicks was saying this in the 1990s, where he just had books. So, you know, it was really hard to get these ideas across. He would have been a great podcast guest.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, because he was like saying these things when no one even knew what he was saying, you know, and he was putting it into comedy. You know, like people then were not nearly as aware of the manipulation of money and power. They really thought, a lot of people thought that the will of the people, you know, the president, we got to get a good president in there that's looking out for us. And they didn't really understand that it's all being bought and paid by special interest groups, large corporations, huge donors, and that when the guy gets in there, he's just representing the same thing no matter what.